So today I get to share with you just how to add some more details to your typography graffiti art project, which I'm really excited about. I cannot wait to see how these turn out, and I'm pretty much ready to get started. I hope you are too. Let's do it. Before we get started today, you are going to need your paper that already has your letters on it, your permanent marker, and some crayons and optional colored markers as well. We have two goals again this week, and they're the same goals as last week. So our first goal is to combine different elements of art. You'll be using more than one, like line, shape, and texture all together. We're also going to just keep practicing typography, trying our best and using our name to create a new style of artwork. Before we get started, I just wanted to give you a few reminders about this project. First, I want to remind you about what typography is, and typography is just letters or numbers in our artwork. Sometimes on your computer you can change what font you're using when you're typing so that the letters or numbers look different. That is also a type of typography, and people work really hard to come up with those different fonts. It's a really cool part of art that people often overlook. One other thing I wanted to share with you is that today we are not going to be adding any extra letters or numbers. We are just going to be adding details around them to help them stand out, to emphasize them. But it's really still important to our typography because we're making sure that our letters and numbers are the most important thing in our picture. Let's go ahead and get started. Right now your paper should look something like this, and we're just going to take our permanent marker out and we are going to make some sort of border around our letter or two letters like you might have done. Doesn't have to be anything perfect. Mine's kind of just some textured, like spiky lines. You can choose whatever you want on the outside of yours. Once you have that, we'll continue to take our permanent marker to add some different textures or some patterns. So for example, I made a texture that kind of looked like things were woven together. Now I'm adding a pattern of some circles. You don't need to add a lot for this to look good, so just add them. They can go over, like my little smiley face kind of went over the edge. It is completely up to you on how you want to add these patterns, but don't let anything you do go outside of that bubble we made around the letters. You can even add different shapes if you'd like I'm coloring in a crown right here, so it looks like the bottom of my S is wearing a crown. You can add a little arrow. Anything that you think will make yours look cool, like it has different textures and patterns. Remember that you can pause as needed, but I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to choose a crayon color that looks good with the colors of my letters. So I thought when I laid purple down next to my letters, that purple looked really good. I'm going to very neatly color in all of the area around my letters in purple. Now remember, this is sped up, so take your time on this. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to, and make sure you are being a really hard worker, a conscientious worker, as well as a quality producer, because we don't want this color to go outside of the lines. This will take the longest part of our whole project. Once you have that colored in, we are going to work on the background. So our background is just going to be a pattern. For example, mine is big circle with 3 squiggle lines. The hardest part of this is that some of your pattern you won't be able to see because you want it to show that it's going underneath of your other design that you did. So watch again, here's 3 squiggles, big circle, but you can't see the whole thing. And now I go over to the other side and start again on my pattern. You are going to complete that pattern all of the way across your paper until it is completely filled with your permanent marker pattern. And that's it. You have added all the details to the background. You can keep adding more details if you want, but this is the end of our project. Graffiti art is a type of art, though, that is never really done. You can keep adding more things on top over and over again. So if you have more details you would like to add or something extra, please feel free to do so. Don't forget to send me a picture so I can see what you were working on, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving break. I'll see you next week.